Is the city of London managing the entire world's finances still today, and you're just not aware of it? All that and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Jeremy Ryan Slate Show. I am your host, Jeremy Ryan Slate, the CEO and co-founder of Command Your Brand. We help our clients to combat cancel culture by placing them on the right podcasts and new media. You can check us out over at commandyourbrand.com. Reminder, if you're brand new to this channel, to like this video, leave us a comment, and smash that subscribe button if you support liberty, freedom, and want to build a better future. So what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Jeremy Ryan Slate Show. Once again, I'm your host, Jeremy Ryan Slate. You can find me on X. I am at Jeremy Ryan Slate. And today we're diving into a topic that's been shaping the world for centuries. I've got history, it's got power, and yeah, it's got a little bit of conspiracy, which you guys know I enjoy. We're talking about the city of London, not the big, sprawling city you're thinking of, but a tiny square mile patch that's been beating the heart of global finance for ages. How can this place become the puppet master of money? And just how much control does it still have over our modern world? Buckle up, guys. This is going to be some connecting the dots, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to be asking some big questions, so let's dive into it. All right, folks, before we jump into some juicy stuff, let's set the stage with some context. The City of London, often called the Square Mile, isn't just part of London, England. It's a separate entity, a city within a city, with its own mayor, its own police force, and its own rules. Think of it like the financial Vatican, but instead of popes, you've got bankers pulling the strings. This place has been a powerhouse since Roman times, and today it's still one of the most influential financial hubs on the planet. But how did it get this way, and why does it matter to you and me? Let's break it down step by step with names, dates, and a little bit of historical spice I know you're going to love. So part one, we're going to take a look at the roots of the city's power. Let's start at the beginning, way back in 50 AD when the Romans set up a trading post called Londinium on the banks of the river Thames. This spot was perfect, a deep river for ships, a crossroads for trade, and a defensible position. By the Middle Ages, this little patch of land, about 1 square mile, became the heart of commerce in England. Merchants from all over Europe flocked here, trading goods like wool, wine, and spices. Guilds, which were like medieval unions, started forming, giving craftsmen and traders power and influence. These guilds laid the groundwork for the city's unique independence. Fast forward to the 12th century, and the City of London gets a charter from King Henry I in 1132, making it a self-governing entity. This is huge. It means the city could set its own taxes, make its own laws, and even elect its leaders, separate from the rest of England. By 1215, the Magna Carta, that famous document, reaffirms the city's special status. This is when the city starts to flex its muscles, and it's not just about trade anymore. It's about money. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In 1694, something massive happens. The Bank of England is born. This isn't just any bank. It's the world's first central bank, created to fund King William III's wars against France. The catch? It's not owned by the government. It's a private institution backed by wealthy merchants and financiers in the City of London. Names like Rothschild start popping up for the first time. With Nathan Mayer Rothschild arriving in London in 1798 to set up the banking house, the Rothschilds, along with families like the Warburgs and Barings, become the heavy hitters of this financial game. They're lending money to kings, financing wars, and building a network that stretches across Europe. So by the 1700s, the City of London isn't just a trading hub, it's the nerve center of a new kind of power, financial power. And this is where the conspiratorial bend comes in. Who's really calling the shots? Is it the kings and queens or the bankers in this square mile? Hold that thought, and we'll come back in just a second. So we're going to take a look at the British Empire's global domination and how this fits in. So let's zoom into the 19th century, the height of the British Empire. The sun never sets on it, right? From India to Africa to the Americas, Britain's got colonies everywhere. And guess who's bankrolling this global empire? You got it, the City of London. By the late 1800s, over half of the world's trade is financed in British pound sterling, the currency controlled by the Bank of England and the city's financiers. This is when London becomes the undisputed financial capital of the world, rivaled only by Paris until New York starts catching up later. The city's secret sauce? A few things. First, its location. London's time zone is perfect, sitting right between Asia and America, so traders can catch the end of the Asian markets and the opening of Wall Street. Second, its legal system, English contract law, is rooted in centuries of precedent, becomes the gold standards for global trade. It's stable, predictable, and trusted, which is catnip for businessmen. Third, the city's institutions. You've got the London Stock Exchange, founded in 1801, where companies raise billions. You've got Lloyd's Bank of London, started in 1686, ensuring everything from ships to skyscrapers. And you've got the London bullion market, setting the price of gold and silver since the 17th century. But here's the kicker. The city's power isn't just about money. It's about control. The Bank of England, the Rothschilds, and the other banking families aren't just lending money, they're shaping policy. They're advising governments, financing wars, and even influencing which country rise or fall. For example, in 1858, the British East India Company hands over control of India to the British Crown. But who's really behind it? The city's financiers who've been funding the company's conquest for decades. Some folks on X have even claimed the city owns the politicians, the media, and pointing to its massive assets, 7 times larger than the UK's economy. Now, we can't verify that outright, but it makes you wonder, how deep does this influence go? By the early 20th century, the city's grip on global finance is ironclad. Even during World War I, when markets are chaotic, the pound sterling stays stable, thanks to the city's maneuvering. The Bank of England steps in, controlling foreign exchange and keeping the system afloat. But cracks are starting to show in that facade. New York is rising, and the 20th century is about to shake things up. Let's fast forward to the late 20th century, because this is where the City of London reinvents itself. After World War II, the British Empire is crumbling. Colonies are gaining independence, and the US dollar is stealing the spotlight as the world's reserve currency. London's still a player, but it's not the king anymore. So what does the city do? It adapts. In the 1950s, the city pioneers new financial products like the Eurodollar and Eurobonds. These are basically a way to trade dollars and bonds outside of the US, dodging American regulations. It's a genius move, and it keeps London in the game. By 1958, exchange controls are relaxed, letting the money flow freely. Then, in 1979, something massive happens. Margaret Thatcher's government abolishes capital controls, letting British assets abroad skyrocket to £12 billion. This sets the stage for the biggest shakeup yet, the Big Bang. On October 27, 1986, the City of London goes through what's called the Big Bang. This is a deregulation bombshell. The Financial Services Act removes the government oversight on derivatives trading, privatizes the Bank of England's monetary policy, and opens the floodgates for global banks. Suddenly, the city is in a free-for-all. Banks from New York, Tokyo, and Frankfurt set up shop. The square mile becomes the world's largest market for foreign exchange, derivatives, and precious metals. Today, London handles 43% of the $6.6 trillion in daily foreign exchange market and half of the $6.5 trillion in interest rate derivatives. That's not pocket change, that's power. But here's where the conspiracy angle kicks in. Some folks like Tony Northfield, a former city trader turned Marxist, argue the city isn't just a financial hub, it's a mechanism of power in the global economy. In his book, The City, Northfield says the square mile, along with a network of British-linked tax havens, extracts wealth from the world. He points out that just 50 companies control a huge chunk of global production, and the city's at the heart of it. Others on X go further, claiming that the city is a sovereign state that privatized the Bank of England in 1694 and controls everything from the Federal Reserve to global debt. Now, I'm not saying I buy all of that, but it's worth asking. Why does this tiny square mile have so much sway? And let's talk about those tax havens. Places like the British Virgin Islands, Bermuda, and the Cayman Islands, all linked to the UK, hold trillions in offshore wealth. Some estimates say the world's assets are tied up in this shadow banking system, and the city's right in the middle. Is this just smart business, or is it a deliberate web to hide the wealth and dodge taxes? You tell me. So where does the City of London stand in 2025? It's a titan. According to a 2024 survey by the City of London Corporation, it's the world's top financial center, just edging out New York. It's got the largest concentration of banks, the largest share of derivatives, and Forex trading. And it's a leader in sustainable finance, but it's not all smooth sailing. Brexit, which hit in 2020, cut the city off from the EU's single market. Some banks moved jobs to Frankfurt or Dublin, and New York's been creeping up as well, especially U.S. markets hitting record highs, even recently. Still, the city's sticky power, what academics call its ability to hold on to influence, keeps it at the top. It's the legal system, the time zone, and infrastructure are still unmatched. Plus, it's got history on its side. The square mile's been through plagues, fires, wars, and now Brexit, and it's still standing. Canary Wharf, a modern financial hub in London's East End, adds even more firepower, hosting giants like HSBC and Barclays. But let's get real. How much control does the city still have? A lot if you ask the right people. The city's banks and insurers like Lloyd's of London underwrite global trade, its markets set prices for gold, silver, and oil, and its influence reaches deep into politics. Some on X claim the city owns MPs, media, and NGOs with assets so vast it could buy the UK economy 7 times over. Others say it's the real power behind the Federal Reserve, using the Bank of England to pull the strings. These claims are hard to prove, but the city's role in shaping global finance is undeniable. Here's a wild stat. The city's financial services employ just 100,000 people in wholesale banking, but generate trillions in transactions. That's efficiency. Maybe it's leverage. Either way, when you control the flow of money, you control a lot more than markets. You control decisions, governments, maybe even wars. And that's where the conspiracy crowd gets loud. It's the city, the puppet master of the world, or just a really good player in a messy game. I lean towards the latter, but I'm keeping my eyes open. I hope you are as well. All right, let's bring this home. Why should you care about a tiny square mile in London? Because the city's influence touches your life. The interest rates on your mortgage, the price of gas at the pump, the stability of your 401k, all of these things are tied to global markets. And the City of London's got its fingers in all of them. When the city sneezes, the world catches a cold. Just look at the financial crisis in 2008. It started in the US, but London's banks amplified it, spreading the pain worldwide. So what can you do? First, stay informed. Second, understand how money moves and who's moving it. Diversify your assets. The city's markets are volatile, and you don't want to be caught off guard. Third, ask the questions. When you hear about global finance or central banking, dig deeper. Who's actually in charge? Is it elected officials, or is it unelected bankers and glass towers? I'm not saying there's a grand conspiracy, but power tends to concentrate, and the city's been concentrating it for centuries. Before I wrap up, let's think about the future. The city's facing challenges: Brexit, competition from New York and Singapore, and calls for tighter regulation. But it's survived worse. My bet? It'll keep reinventing itself, just like it did after the Great Fire of 1666, the Big Bang of 1986. The question is, will it use its power for good, or will it keep playing the same old game of control? That's for you to decide. That's a wrap, folks. We've gone from Roman traders to modern bankers, from the Magna Carta to the Big Bang, and we've asked some big questions about who really runs the show. The City of London's financial empire is real, and it's influential everywhere. What do you think it is? Is it just business, or is there something deeper? What's going on? Drop your thoughts here in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you hit that notifications bell so you don't miss another new episode. And follow me on X. I am at Jeremy Ryan Slate. I'll catch you guys next time.